Guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that short break. Let us now focus on bar scales. Okay, so the first question here, if you look already, we see there's a bar scale given. It says, consider the bar scale below. Study it carefully and answer the questions that follow, right? So the first question here, and again you'll see we need to measure. So I want to ask you, whenever you're going to write paper 2, please make sure you take a ruler with, because it's almost inevitable that you're going to need a ruler to measure. Whether it's the bar scale, whether it's on a map, please make sure that you take your ruler with. So in this case, we're going to measure. Okay, so let's measure from 0 on our bar scale all the way to 10 kilometers. Okay, so remember we start here. Don't let this block confuse you. And then we go all the way up to there. Okay, so I've measured and I got this is 11.2 centimeters. All right, so next question, number B. What does the bar scale represent? So when we look at this, we can say that this bar scale, we have 11.2 centimeters represents, right? If I look in this case, it represents 10 kilometers in reality. Guys, are we clear on that? So 11.2 centimeters, okay, on this map or drawing, whatever is given to you, represents 10 kilometers in reality. Our next question says, the straight line distance, now meaning as the crow flies, right? From the 1 point to the next point, okay? On the map between points A and B is 68 centimeters. Use the bar scale above to calculate the actual distance in kilometers. Right, so we are saying the distance between the 2 points measured on the map is 68 centimeters. Okay, we would like to know what is that specific distance in kilometers. All right, so now let me just write down the specifics we're going to work with. Remember the distance on the map distance, we said is 68 centimeters. We've measured, right, in the previous slide, we've measured the bar length, right? And we said, okay, the bar length here is 11.2 centimeters. Are we still fine? So therefore, when I calculate the actual distance, I will take my 11.2 centimeters, right? So that is my map distance, and I will divide that by the bar length of 68. Okay, now that's not the way it should be. First of all, I take my 68 centimeters, right, the distance on the map, and I divide that by my bar length that I've measured. That is 11.2 centimeters, and I multiply that by my scale factor here, which is 10. Guys, are we clear on that? Okay, remember your answer must be in kilometers, so 68 divided by 11.2, that I will multiply by 10. So that will give us an actual distance, right, in kilometers of, and I'm going to round off to 2 decimal places, 60.71. And please note that is in kilometers. Guys, are we clear? So please sometimes we'll give a mark here for your answer as well as for the correct unit. Because if you indicate now centimeters or meters or millimeters, that's minute, right? So that can't be actual distance in real life. Guys, are we clear on this one? So let me run through it again. You take your measured distance on the map, which in this case is 68. You divide it by the measured length of your bar, multiply by the scale factor. Guys, and just to point out whilst we at this point in time, remember you can even measure from 0 to 5 and work with that distance as well. Doesn't matter, you'll still get to the same answer. Okay, let us now move on to our next question. Question number 2 says a map has been given with the following bar scale. Carefully study the bar scale and answer the question or the question below. So now we'd like you to convert the bar scale into a number scale. All right, so how do we go about again? To convert from a bar scale into a number scale. Okay, first step is you must measure your bar. Okay, and if you look, this is familiar, we did this early on as well. So I'll start off by measuring my bar. Right, so in my case, the bar here, when I measure it, gives me 6 centimeters. Right, so now what will happen? I'll indicate that 6 centimeters is to 30 kilometers. Now, level 1 question, what does this mean? Simply means that 6 centimeters on a map or drawing is equals to or represents 30 kilometers in real life. Now, remember, if you look at this, two things are wrong. First of all, here I have centimeters and here I have kilometers. Second thing is that it's not expressed as a unit. We agree, where we say 1 is to something else. So now I need to make sure that both my units are the same. Are we clear? And how will I do that? I will keep my 6 centimeters. I'll convert this kilometers here into centimeters as well. Now remember, how will I convert kilometers to centimeters? I will multiply that by 100,000. Okay, so therefore, I'll say 30 multiplied by 100,000. Okay, that will give me 3 million. All right, so that will be 3 million centimeters. Now both my units are the same. Okay, and note again, how did I go from kilometers into centimeters? I've multiplied by scale factor here of 100,000 because 100,000 centimeters equals 1 kilometer. And remember earlier on I indicated that 1 million millimeters equals 1 kilometer. If you remember that too, you'll find this easy because on your ruler, remember there are only 2 sides. It can either be millimeters or we can ask you to measure in centimeters. And most of the time when we say write down the actual distance, we refer to it in kilometers. You can check all past papers, you can check whether it's at school, whether it's on the internet, you'll see that is the way the examiners are going. Okay, so now both our units are the same. What is the next thing? You must make sure on the left-hand side, I express it as a unit, as 1, right? And how will we do that? We divide whatever we have on the left-hand side of this ratio by itself. So here we have 6, so I'll say 6 centimeters divided by 6 centimeters. As soon as I do that, I will know I'll get the answer of 1. We agree? Right. So what I do on the left-hand side, I will also do on the right-hand side. So here I have 3 million centimeters. And I'll divide that by 6 centimeters as well. Okay, so remember now you have 3 million and you divide it by 6. So let's type that in, the 3 million divided by 6. So that will give us 500,000. So therefore, the number scale, in this case, that's equivalent to what I see there in the bar scale is 1 is to 500,000. Guys, are we clear on that? 1 is to 500,000. I'll run through this one more time so that you know the steps. So first of all, you measure the bar length. In this case, we've measured the bar length is 6 centimeters. Then I equate it to my distance that I've measured to on the bar, which is 30 kilometers. Remember, you can even measure from 0 to 15 as well. Are we clear? And just equate the two. This case, I converted 30 kilometers into centimeters by multiplying with 100,000. Now both my units are the same. 6 centimeters is to 3 million centimeters. Thereafter, I must make sure that I get to 1 to express it as a unit. So whatever I have on the left-hand side, I divide it by itself. So 6 divided by 6 equals 1. Then what I did on the left-hand side, I also did on my right-hand side by saying 3 million divided by 6. And that gave me 500,000. And remember, last thing, when you express your number scale, no units. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Hope to see you next time. Please remember to work every day, even if it's for only 10 minutes. Eventually, it will add up to a lot of time. See you next time. Goodbye.